All right, cool. Say you and sound. All right, so today is Sunday, the 28th of June. Still feels like March. Today is going to be really the genesis of today's workout was going to be just cardio, good old-fashioned cardio stuff. I've now changed into kind of a grunt work farm kind of workout with rowing and a movement that I kind of not created, but just kind of took a couple of different movements and melded them together. So we're going to see how that works. It's going to be a little bit of a kind of trial and error thing. So yeah, I'll set up the camera so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm also going to kind of let you guys peek in on me finishing warming up. So still warming up. So yeah, the movement that I'm going to try today is going to be basically, I've got two sets of boxes set up. And so one is the 48-inch wooden boxes where I'm going to clean the heavy sandbag that we have here. I just filled it up with sand, or refilled it, I should say. So I'm hoping it's at least 70, 80, 90 pounds. I don't have a scale with me today, so but it's freaking heavy. And so basically I'm going to clean that, get it to my shoulders, and then put it up and over the box. And then once I've done that, the other black boxes with the green stripes, I'm going to burpee on one side. So the side that I just did the sandbag throw over, I'm going to burpee and then jump and clear that box. So then the next rep, the sandbag will already be on the other side, yada, yada, yada. So basically each rep of that will be a clean with the sandbag, an up and over, kind of an awkward up and over on the wooden boxes, and then a burpee with a full clearing of the other boxes, which is at 30 inches. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll see if that's like way too intricate and way too much thought and stuff. I really just wanted to do an awkward, heavy get over of an object over on the boxes, but I didn't necessarily want to do a burpee kind of muscle up get over today. I wanted something that was going to be jumping explosive too. So I basically just wanted to do both of those. So we'll see if this works. So it's going to be row 1,000 meters, 25 of those, and then row 1,000 meters, 25 of those, all for time. So usually in this kind of context, I could get at least a sub 4, if not a 4-minute 1,000-meter row, even on the second one. The first one will probably be like 3:45. The second one will probably be closer to 4. I have no idea how long those burpee sandbag majiggies. I'm calling them sandbag over burpee box jump overs. So it's the most apt description I can think of. So yeah, I'm going to do a little flow warm-up thing just to show you guys what my warm-ups look like when I don't want to take a lot of time to warm up. So I've already foam rolled, obviously. Maybe that's not obvious, but I always foam roll first. So foam rolled, did some gentle band stretching just to get my shoulders warmed up after doing all that overhead stuff yesterday, which actually felt pretty good. Like my traps are, sore from all the overhead stuff this week, but they're definitely not super blown up. And I can't stress enough, guys, like just using that gun 5 to 10 minutes here and there, it has absolutely allowed me to train more and allowed me to feel better. Not have nearly as many. I don't have them at all anymore. I used to get headaches. My traps would get so tight, my neck would get so tight. Now, if you look at my neck, this isn't great lighting to do so, but if you look at my neck in person, you can tell I have really tight neck muscles. So it's still something I constantly am having to monitor, but like the amount of training I'm doing now with the amount of pain I have is so much better than it used to. My training used to be lower, pain used to be worse, and now it's more volume and better feeling. So I really have to give it up to, amongst other recovery things I'm doing, just that little gun and the little massage gun, just really gently letting those things calm down instead of constantly being in that tight position. So anyway, I don't get any payment for promoting those. So this little flow I'm going to do as a warm-up is something you can do at home. I think it's great because it basically gets everything worked up. It also gets my kind of breath up and flow going. So yeah, and there's no like rhyme or reason to this get-up or to this warm-up. Where's my phone? Oh. Yeah, there's no like rhyme or reason to this flow. It's just something I like to do that gets my mind going. It gets my body going, and it does tend to warm up a little bit of everything. So one of my big things is ankles and calves. I always like to warm that up. So I basically do this kind of flexion of the foot, get a little hip flexor stretch in there. I also already did do a little bit of a quad stretch against the box for both legs, just with all those GHGs yesterday. They're flared up a little bit. So I'll generally lay back on my heels like this, and then I'll kind of get a shoulder kind of forward press on my, that kind of front delt pec bicep area. So get that going with a little bend in the elbows. Basically kind of a dip. It's like a partial dip. So that it just stretches that out. So again, a little flex, a little rock, boom, boom, boom. Sometimes a little single leg, you can't see, but I'm kind of lifting one leg at a time. So I'll do this for about 15, 20 seconds. And again, a lot of my warm-ups, I try to create as much space as I can in my shoulders. So like, you'll see me doing a bunch of funky like little flexes with my torso and stuff like that. That's all just me trying to get this spatially expanded so that that tissue has some space to breathe. Because again, for me, I carry all my tension up here in my upper back and pecs. So all this gets real tight. And again, the gun, the massage gun, so good for this area. It's so hard to get this recovered. So it's really, really nice to get that massage gun. So yeah, anyway, this for a little bit, what I just did, and I go forward. I'll basically hit a little down dog. So this, with this rock I'm doing, actually it's kind of warmed up today. Okay, so with this rock, what I'm trying to do is really open up the armpits and lats, which is another really tight spot for me, and then kind of get my back pivoting a little bit back and forth, kind of almost incorporating a little bit of a kind of roll in the spine like we would with cat-cow. So like here, I've got the lumbar kind of flowing. So I might even let the lumbar go for a little bit. See how it's rounded down and flat. So I might actually let that go because here I'm going to get the lumbar curve. So this one, it's not your traditional down dog, but all I'm doing is pivoting at the toes, knees, hips, and shoulders. Well, guess what? That's pretty much everything we need to warm up. So this is a phenomenal warm up. It's also getting my core warmed up, obviously, too, because I'm really squeezing, boom, right about there. So it's getting all those core muscles warmed up. And then I'll basically, again, when we go back to talking about spatially expanding the shoulders and pecs, I'll kind of get into this little rotation here, almost kind of like a little break dancing move with my shoulders. Kind of going both ways, boom, up, down, a little side to side. I also, like I said, have a really tight neck, so looking both ways really helps. Get a little child's pose. And again, I'll kind of come back to this. And then basically what I'll do is I'll walk it in. So like an inchworm, walk it in. And then from here, I'll kind of walk into a squat stance. And then basically do a little bit of a just let the roll happen type thing. I might even throw in a couple of sit-ups where I do a little stretch, kind of flexing my toes forward. Again, you can't see that, I apologize. So I'm kind of flexing my toes forward, nice straight legs. So I might do a couple of like kind of strict sit-ups just to make sure my core is nice and on for today. And then basically what I'll do is I'll do a couple of kickbacks to forward standing position. And then again, I'm letting this roll happen. So all that's doing is just really nicely warming up my ankles, getting that ankle flexion in there, knees, and then I'll come back. And again, I'm just gonna let it happen, roll back. Hopefully get a little pop in my upper back, which will happen if I'm like really tight back there. So I'm gonna stop talking now and kind of do this a couple of times through so you guys see exactly what it's gonna look like. And basically you can do this 2 or 3, maybe 4 or 5 times through and be completely warmed up within 5-10 minutes. I'm already mildly sweating from that, so when we actually do it all together, it's gonna be real good. All right, here we go. I'm crazy. One other thing I'll throw in here too is that I didn't mention is a wide kind of side lunge. So one of my biggest indicators to know that I'm actually warmed up is if I can hit a full depth, full foot on the ground side lunge without touching the ground. So like right now I'm kind of touching the ground, bracing myself. But all this is doing is just a great groin, hamstring, for lack of a better term, kind of that taint area. Also getting a really nice deep flex on whatever ankle I'm leaning towards. So like I can tell this one's not quite warmed up because I can't put my heel on the ground, but after doing this a couple of times, it will get better, which is surprising. This is usually my tight one, and this one's feeling really good today. I also might just be in a better position. Oh no, this one's really tight. So I'll usually throw in a couple of those too, and then I'll kind of go into my rollbacks. And again, another indication that I'm actually warming up is the lack of force that I have to do on the forward piece. So like usually when I'm first warming up, I have to like really throw myself just to get into that deep squat. And again, all my warm-ups involve squatting in some way, shape, or form, whether it's a kind of silly floor squatting, whether it's like gorilla crawling, stuff like this, whether it's like overhead banded squats. I always do squatting in my warm-ups. First of all, it's going to indicate or kind of tell me where my hips are at in terms of their warmth, basically, in terms of their tissue. Like, is everything feeling tight, loose, warm? So it's going to really tell me what I need to focus on. So, like, for example, if I come into the gym and hit an air squat and my feet start turning out, my glutes aren't turning on, my adductors or abductors are really tight in some way, shape, or form, maybe my psoas and core musculature is really tight, it's going to kind of dictate how I warm up. So I always hit a squat. So I never, ever warm up. Never, ever met a squat I didn't like. So yeah, I never warm up without squatting in some way, shape, or form. And really, like I said, it only takes a couple of times through. Like I'm already feeling way more warmed up. Like just to be able to touch the ground like that in a really deep flex position. All this is feeling really good. My knees are feeling really good. Quads feeling good. Again, I do these kind of like, what do they call, like shrimp squats or sissy squats or something where like you basically, I'm deep flexed on my toes. I used to never be able to do this because my plantar fasciitis would act up so much. Again, the massage gun is a great tool for the calves. I also attribute a lot of my calf improvement to the fact that I started wearing toe spacers about maybe a year ago. Just little yoga toe spacers, just wore them 10, 15 minutes at a time, and just kind of built up my feet basically, which sounds, a lot of people are like, oh, you don't need to build up your feet, but man, when you have toes that are overlapping and your feet are turned off basically from a muscular standpoint, every time you jump or take a step or squat, your calves and your hamstrings and your hips are basically going to get completely ratcheted up to the point where you're going to have all sorts of other injuries. So I used to have knots so bad in my calves that like if you press on them, I'd scream and cry. So that is not the case anymore, which is awesome. And it's really allowed me, again, just from a volume standpoint, no one likes to come into a gym or a workout or a class or whatever it is and be like, oh yeah, I can't do this today because my calves hurt too much. And that would literally be me. So, and it actually came to a head when I was doing some swimming a couple of years back. I was doing some swimming in my old apartments. God, I guess I've been wearing toe spacers that longer than it's maybe a couple of years on and off. There was about like a 5-month stint. I kind of stopped wearing them because I was like, oh, I'm healed. And then of course my feet started getting bad again. So anyway, I was swimming in a pool at our apartment, our old apartment. and my toes were literally like folding over to the point where it was like, it felt really weird. So then of course, do some research and do some kind of talking to other people and things like that. And you're like, oh, it's not supposed to, your feet aren't supposed to look like this. Well, no, it's like, they're basically another version of your hands, right? Well, I'm really good at using my hands. I've gotten way better at like handstands and handstand walking and all that stuff. One thing I needed to work on was my feet. So I definitely still wear my toe spacers on a pretty regular basis. I don't generally wear them if I know I'm going to be doing a lot of work that day, just because they will tax my foot muscles and my calves to the point where it's like, whoa, it might actually detract from my workout, but I will wear them on pretty much every other day, at least up until my workout, and then I'll take them off. Now, there's sometimes, again, just from a smart training standpoint, I'll wear them during a workout. But if I'm going to be doing like 5 rounds of an 800-meter run, probably not going to wear them for that, because one, right now, like the toe spacers I have are so big that they would actually get in the way. And then two, you don't want to overly tax the muscles to the point where you're like straining them or like encouraging pulling the muscles. It would just be like anything else, right? So anyway, I'm feeling pretty warm now. Again, with this workout starting with a 1,000-meter row, that's definitely going to act like a warm-up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to warm up my jump, make sure that I feel comfortable clearing the 30-inch box. So for this warm-up, I actually will just I'm not wearing my toe spacers right now, but I will wear just my socks. And then, of course, for the workout, I will wear my shoes. So that's another way I like to warm up my feet and actually challenge my feet, is I try to be shoeless whenever possible, barefoot whenever appropriate, and toe spacers whenever I can. So yeah, anyway, so I'll demonstrate what this rep will look like. And again, it'll be 25 at a time. So I'm going to turn these. I usually, when I do box clearing jumps, I usually just use the 20-inch box. So now, for one thing, it's wider this way, so it's like more of a forward jump is necessary. But again, you can look and see the difference between the two boxes I'm going to be using today. The 20 is what I normally do. This one, today I'm going to try the 30, which is going to really force me to tuck my legs. But again, I want to do that today. So okay, 20 feels easy peasy. You'd be surprised though, sometimes, especially if you like, have a workout where it's like 20 cals on the bike and then try to do 20 box jump overs or 10 box jump. Oh my God, your quads can get so heavy sometimes, but they're feeling good today, man. So feeling good. You guys know I like my coffee. I'm gonna finish this up. So yeah, basically the 20's feeling mighty fine. I'll do a couple at the 24, but I'll put my shoes on for that. I totally forgot. I'll actually demonstrate what the rep looks like, but I'll still do it with the 20 just as a warm up. Okay. So each rep is going to be. So that would be one rep. Now, here's the crappy part. The sandbag right now is completely turned over. So in order to actually clean it with those two nice simple handles, I would have to turn it over, roll it over. So there very well might be some times I use the wide handles, the horizontal handles. Yeah, I might use any and all handles. I might even just give it a bear hug at times. So the other thing too that's kind of annoying about this, I didn't really think about, is getting over that box is freaking tough. So if I was thinking about this from like a games standpoint, what's the most efficient way to get that over? Is it to throw it? Because honestly, like putting it up on the box and then pushing it, you can already tell I'm out of breath just from that one rep. I wish I brought my scale today. I want to know how much this is. I think this bag technically can be up to 120 pounds. And The one thing I like about this sandbag is that it actually has space for all three of the little sand bladders to actually have space. Our red bag, which is the smaller one, same company, which is so weird. It does not fit, like if you actually fill up all the bladders all the way. So like the red bag, 2 are full, 1 is like a half full. This black bag is amazing. All 3 bladders are pretty much, at full capacity, about 3/4 full. So it's gotta be at least like 80 pounds. I don't know. I gotta find a good way to throw this over though. Yeah, there's no way to throw it over. There's no way to throw it over because I've got it here. So it's gonna be straight up, yeah. It's gonna be straight up, just get it on the box and then just push it over. So what, like 1, 2? Okay, because that's the other trick, because like the reality is, even though these boxes are banded together, you have to control it from tipping over. So sometimes that's just part of the game. I think what I just figured out though too is, since the sandbag turns over, I'm just going to approach it. I'll probably keep it on the same handles and just roll it in onto my feet every single rep. Call it good. Man, that is good. So what's funny about this now is that basically, instead of this being a rowing burpee box over workout, the burpee box over is going to kind of turn into just like a placeholder. It's really going to come down to the sandbag. But anyway, I'm excited to do it. Boop. One more time for the people at home. It's going to be 4 times, 1,000-meter row, 25 of the reps, 1,000-meter row, 25 of the reps. We're going to get our shoes on. We're going to sip that last sip of coffee. We're going to get it popping. We are going to get it popping. Oh, man. I think another like micro goal in this workout too is going to be not dogging that second row. Like it would be really easy in this workout just to dog the second row and or even dog the first one, just kind of use it as a warm up. So while I'm not going to like sprint the row in any way, shape, or form, I really do want to do like both rows sub 4. So quite honestly, I'm probably going to share with you guys my rowing splits and just see, can I hold myself accountable to a sub 4 1,000-meter row each time? I actually usually can in these kind of scenarios. I used to not be able to at all. Like a 1,000-meter row for me used to be like, a good sprinting one would be like 3:30 or 3:35. And then in workouts like this, I would do like 4:15, 4:30. But I'm usually pretty good about staying sub 4 now. So still warming up the box. I'm just gonna pop this over to 24 inches. I don't even know if I've done 24 inches in a workout before. I mean, obviously I've done them just for S's and G's and warm-up capacity or just practice capacity. Mm-hmm. Yep, it definitely makes you tuck up a little bit more. I honestly don't know if I've ever done the 30. Now, I'm kind of thinking off the top of my head, is this a good idea? Is this a good framework to do 30? Sounds fun, sounds challenging. One false step, kind of bad jump, and you're on your face. So I always kind of like question, like, is this my ego talking? Is this really a good challenge for me? Is this something that's appropriate? So we'll see. It really just depends on, it's looking short today, so that's a good thing. Like some days things are heavier than other days, like we all know that feeling. You pick up a dumbbell that normally for you is light on a Monday, feels like 1,000 pounds. So today the boxes look small, which is good. It just depends on, do I really want to get to a point where I don't feel confident jumping over the box? And that's the thing. I want to stay confident the entire time. I never want to be like, dude, I don't know if I'm going to make it. This is not the kind of context to do that. Again, that would be kind of like a practice gymnastic type workout where we're just practicing handstands and candlesticks and ring drills and some jumping kind of stuff, I would never, want to put myself in danger during a workout just to feed my ego. So we'll see. I also have my shorts on today, which of course I didn't think ahead. I have my shorts that constantly come loose and then slide down my legs and then constrict my hips, which is not good. And of course now this box looks high. That just feels high now all of a sudden. Dang it! I waited too long, man. Now it feels high. Yep. All right. So I'm actually making the decision now. We're just going to go at 24 inches today. I think for two reasons. Well, I know for two reasons. Really for two reasons. One, it's a Sunday workout. Like, I don't need to necessarily prove to myself that I can do 50 burpee box jump overs of a 30-inch box. Quite honestly, I don't even normally do box jumps at 30 inches. To clear an object takes that much more concentration, effort, explosiveness, tucking, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, again, not in the mood to do that today. I think 24 inches is going to prove to be plenty challenging, especially with the sandbag portion. So yeah. So again, that's another example of scaling. I constantly am preaching the scaling aspect of workouts like this, and today's just another good example. I mean, I've gone through like 4 or 5 iterations of this workout already just on the way to the gym. This workout started as a 1,000-meter row, 50 box jump overs, and a 1,000-meter row for time. Now it's completely different. So, I mean, you kind of check and adjust. So a lot of times when you're writing workouts, the ego is a really big part of that, where you're like, oh, I just watched, Rich Froning do this at the games, or Matt Fraser or something like that, and then you kind of realize, okay, let's take it down a notch, and let's make it work for you. So, I mean, again, if I think about it too from a completely like normal context standpoint, I've never even done 24-inch box jump, clearing over. So this is already going to be a higher height than I'm used to. So I think we're good. Anyway, I'm gonna sip my last sip of coffee, crank up the music. I'm listening to some whiny emo metal music today, some Seosin, so I apologize in advance. If you don't want to hear that, turn down your speakers now. Water. This. Done. I brought my knee sleeves today, but I don't need them. So yeah, expectations for this workout now. Originally, it was going to be kind of a sprinty thing, right? With the 1,000-meter row, 50 box jump overs, 1,000-meter row. That was going to be really sprinty, sub 15 kind of thing. Again, sub 4 on both of the rows, and then it's really going to be like grind it out on the 25. Again, kind of like yesterday, I don't want this to be a lot of this kind of thing. So, really approach the bag. Once I step up to the bag, get it on me, get it on the box, take another breath, push, do my burpee box jump over quickly, which is another reason why doing the 24 inch is a more appropriate thing. I do not want that to be burpee, step back, kind of assess the situation. Like I want it to be burpee jump, like let's go. So Man, it'd be really cool if I could do like all 25 in a grinding sense. I usually would do like 10 and then take a break and then grab some water. But honestly, I've been watching some kind of like low key random CrossFitters like videos lately, and one thing that really stands out to me is the lack of proper pacing. So like it's really still common for people to like push for big sets and then take these ghastly amounts of rest. Sometimes that's appropriate, especially if you're working on like an unbroken set or a really big set of like hang clean and jerks or a really big set of snatches or wobbles or what. I mean, it could be anything, right? But like for the most part, if you're trying to like improve your score or get the best score, it's been shown time and time again that doing a slow but steady kind of wins the race type thing and not taking these long bouts of rest really helps. So my goal today is to not take long bouts of rest and just keep plugging away on those sandbag burpee box jump over majiggies. Let's just call it that. Let's just call it majiggies for real. Might as well just call it majiggies. Of course, I already went pee like 20 minutes ago, and of course I gotta go pee again, so. Okay, cool. Woo! The coffee is gone, which means, unfortunately, it's time to work out. The morning is officially over at 3 p.m. Yes. I just love mornings. All right, so yeah, strategy on this workout, sub 4 on the row, grind it out on the burpee box jump over with the sandbag throw, and really just try not to take huge gasps of breath and really breathe as I'm moving today and keep moving. I don't want to have long bouts of rest if I can help it. Yeah, so in terms of actual time, like let's just say 4 minutes for each row, so that's 8 minutes. I guess I would still say sub 20. It really depends on how bad that sandbag gets. I mean, for a couple of cleans, it feels fine. You know, after 10, is it going to keep feeling fine? Who knows? So I wish I knew how much I weighed. I'll bring in my scale next time. So yeah, one last thing I forgot to mention on this workout too is when it comes to the burpees, I'm going to take a breath before doing the burpee, but I'm not going to do struggle burpees today, meaning like flop down on the ground, step in, step out. I've done a lot of struggle burpees this week, and it's only 50 burpees total. So I'm going to force myself, even if it takes a couple breaths before, I'm going to force myself to do each burpee like that versus, kind of like down. And, So anyway, let's get it popping, shall we? Got the damper set pretty low, around 4 today. Usually for meters like this, I'll set the damper sub 5. For calories, I'll do 7, 8, or 9 maybe.
I'll push the way out and find you. Not sorry, I'm sorry, I'm not sure. I tried, sorry.
Three, two, one.
Only push the way out to find you. Not sorry, I'm sorry, I'm not sure.
3, 2, 1.
I did it!
Something like silhouette. Away from my
I thought it didn't need my anything. Apparently lifting a sandbag a bunch of times hurts your shins. Who would have thought? Man, this is gonna take a long time. This is terrible. Why do I keep doing these awkward heavy ones? What am I trying to get stronger? Come on. What am I trying to get stronger? Let's go. Not winning today, sandbag. Not winning today. It's really sucks. It's really tough. It's really tough.
7 years back, only knows that laughter as my eyes kick like crazy. I've been trying way too long. I'm pushed away, I will find you. Not sorry, I'm not sure. I tried.
5 more to go. Probably should have done 15 of these, but who cares? Let's do the work, man. Do the work. Check in the Josh living room.
Only pushed away, I fight you. Not sorry, I'm not sure. Take all my chances. Sorry.
Well, this is going to test everything I got. having fun yet? Not me. That's okay. Wouldn't rather be doing anything else. So I got sub 4 on both those. 353 and 356A. So yeah, these things are, I still got 25 more to go. They really started scraping on my chin. So luckily didn't break skin yet, really, like completely. As you can see too, I've given up on trying to curl the bag actually over. It was taking way too much energy, and every time it missed, I got really frustrated. So I'm actually purposely putting it on top. Oh God, push. What was that?
Fireworks at dawn as I sit for assistance. This class keeps me calm. It reflects back that image of someone who's lost, getting older by the minute. Loud lights are the growing stars. Someday they will be finished. I've got so many places that I wanna see, and I've got so many places that I wanna be. So get on your feet, like the dirt up and you let the destiny where you said you go. Just the past can't be their passion, so forget you did something wrong. Find someone who hasn't. I've got so many places that I wanna see. I've got so many
This is testing me, man.
places.
I think I wanted to quit like 10 fucking times already. This is insane.
I can't want to look at myself. That I can't better to somebody else. He's working to land, picture on his hands. To put your baby in the dancing sand. Don't let it talk flower. Gotta keep the time alive. Just wait on it. This is love. There's nothing right on right door. Because I've been playing mirror since 1984. I woke up to letters I still so done. And I hope it's not forever. You and I am so now it's still like that, it's from the west. Speaking of my shadow, just stop living like the ghost. There's nothing right on right. 1984. I woke up to lights I still so long, so and I hope it's not forever. Even when I am in
This is 20 right here. Ah!
Take all of my own mistakes, 'cause I can't seem to take them out. When I look at the mirror and spit out the man I see with beggars for his eyes, I found my castle's up in the sky, so when it rains, take out the rain shade. Oh, here I am, looking down at the bottom of the glass sails beside my brother. I need outside, my shooting stars to hide and dance and turn my thoughts into stars. I can check by the medicine I take. I think I just get there's for myself to say. You will be alright in my heart too. It wants to be in your time. Oh, here I am, walking down at the bottom of the glass. Beside my brother, I need outside. My shooting stars to hide the dust and turn my thoughts into stars. My regrets are what is still left. I need to live.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, that was an absolute poop show. I mean, it was an amazing workout. Did not expect it to be that terrible. And so in retrospect, it should have been like 1,000 meters and like 15, maybe even only 10 of those with the heavy bag. Maybe with like the lighter bag, it could have been. I mean, that was a phenomenal workout, do not get me wrong, but just checking and adjusting style. In terms of a Sunday, not a recovery workout, but just like an off day workout, that definitely was a little bit more than I wanted. But that is the second time this week that I've done a movement that was like literally shook me to my core, where I was like, holy crap, I don't know if I want to keep doing this. Like all my pec and back muscles were getting tight. All my traps were, like everything was getting blown up. And I was like, dude, you just said before we started the workout, that wasn't going to happen. And I kind of made it happen. And like, I think sometimes, well, I know a lot of us get mental barriers, especially with previous injuries or previous issues with our body. We start to create these loops in our brain of like, and I know you guys all know what I'm talking about. Of just like, I can't, as soon as I feel this, it means this, or as soon as I, if I do that, whatever that phrase is, that Latin phrase is, if therefore, because of that or whatever. Why am I trying to do Latin post-workout? I don't know. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just is one of those things where it's like, you start doing something, you're like, dude, is this really a good idea? You start questioning it based on previous experience, and sometimes you just got to roll the bones, man. Freaking rush style, just got to roll the bones. And, now obviously it's because so the thing with holding that bag is that, especially as you saw me fail a couple reps, it was pulling so much on these muscles as we already know are really tight. So normal, recovery routine in place for sure. Warm bath for about 5-10 minutes after, like pretty much right when I get home. Protein shake, food, high kind of like high starchy carb, high protein food. In fact, I'll probably make an egg sandwich with a baked potato instead of my shake today. I don't think I need a protein shake today per se, but I usually do like a protein shake that has like banana and oats and protein powder and stuff. That's too much today. I'll just make an egg sandwich and a starchy potato, and then basically, and then the massage gun. I mean, today is going to be one of those days that I cannot mess around. Like I've got to do the massage gun like multiple times on these pec and trap muscles. So, but again, like even this week or even the last couple of weeks, I've been like, ooh, that's going to really hurt tomorrow. And like, honestly, it's not. I'm not going to lie to you. This whole workout was a complete total body assault. Like when I got back to the sandbags the second time, first of all, when I got back on the row midway through this workout, I was like, that should have been the workout right there, 1,025. Honestly, that would have been a phenomenal workout, to be quite honest. What was my first split? It was 16:28. I wrote that on the board, right? So it was 16:28, and my total time was 33:51. I mean, the fact that I even finished this, I was actually nervous I wasn't going to finish it under 40 minutes when I got back on the rower. I was like, oh crap, I'm not going to finish this in under 40 minutes. So the fact that I did is pretty awesome. And in fact, I finished under 34 minutes, which basically means I did about the same amount of time twice in a row, which is just absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, 31:50. What did I say? No, sorry, 30. Jesus. Close workout brain, 33:51. And the split was 16:28. So yeah, so just about a minute slower on the second time through. Dang, that's good. I mean, that's phenomenal. Considering how much of an earth-shattering workout it was. But I mean, like every time I bent over, I was going to say earlier, when I got back to the sandbag on the second time through, I bent over and my hamstrings were like, whoo! Between the row jumps and picking that sandbag up, wow. But even just that workout in and of itself, first of all, I've never done more than probably 10 cleans with that sandbag in a workout. So to do, granted, I wasn't trying to do like perfect cleans. I was basically just get it up onto my Zercher squat kind of position. But to do 50 of those in a workout is absolutely phenomenal. And let's be real, that really was the workout. I mean, again, I kind of mentally, two things had to stay true for me to be happy with this workout, regardless of how long it took me. And that was sub 4 minutes on the row each time, which I did, and doing a jump out and jump in burpee every single time, regardless of how tired I was. And I did that too. So like I won this workout before I even knew what time I got. And that's what I love about making these little micro goals within workouts is like, it's not always about the like time. It's not always about the reps. Sometimes it's like, did I do that variation that I never do? Did I do that weight that I usually shy away from? Did I do a movement that I normally shy away from? So like, there's so many wins that can happen within a workout that have nothing to do with the time or the weight or whatever. It has everything to do with know yourself and know what you want to get out of this workout. Even if it's just, I want to get a quote unquote good workout and sweat a bunch, cool. Like, but is there a variation? Is there a jump? Is there a distance? Is there a speed that you maybe don't normally do and maybe shy away from that you can do today and, feel really good about? I'm definitely going to actually roll out my back right now because I can already feel it getting super tight. Oh my God, my hamstrings. Are you serious? Holy crap. Oh no. Oh, the hammies. Oh, the ham bones. Oh, the ham bones are bad. Yep, it's really bad. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's really bad. Oh God. Oh God. Yeah, it's really bad. Okay. Nope. I don't know if this is a good idea. I don't know if it's gonna fit. Okay. I gotta start bringing like a nighttime tea for my post-workout. Sure. Oh God. Goodbye, muscles. Calm down. It's okay. You can go to sleep now. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, thanks for watching. Another episode of Eric Tortures Himself. That was a good one, though. I mean, Again, it definitely was like terrible. It definitely was harder than I wanted it to be, but it was a really good test for me. So like, you know, and I'm never going to shy away from a good test, as I'm sure you guys don't want either. Like, there's going to be times where the workout's easier than you thought, and there's going to be times where the workout's harder than you thought. So, you know, a lot of times you got to check your ego either way and just be like, do the work the best you can and just check and adjust. You know, I mean, I've looked back several times at old workouts I used to do that now I'm like, what the heck was I thinking, both from a purely way too hard standpoint or like a way too easy standpoint. So am I mad about a 35-minute workout on a Sunday afternoon? No. But that definitely was more than I wanted to do in terms of like muscle fatigue, like leading into a new week. But, you know, so it's going to make me kind of probably have to adjust what I'm going to do in terms of programming, which I'll work on tonight for myself. It'll probably change my programming for tomorrow and Tuesday at least, just because I know regardless of how much I recover, these muscles are going to be super tight. So like, for instance, I'm not going to come in here and do barbell cleans tomorrow or snatches probably for that matter. You know what I mean? Like there's going to be a lot of things I'm not going to do tomorrow because of this being so terrible. So, and that's okay. All right. Home food. See you guys soon. Thanks for watching.